All right, hello, everyone. Welcome to day 27 stream of the Alex Murdaugh trial. Appreciate you all. We'll get started here in just a few minutes. Definitely a lot today. Of course, we had closing arguments for prosecution, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some of the drama. I did find out everything with the email situation. We're also going to talk about the conversation I had with the Attorney General and how the case is wrapping up. Of course, it ended up wrapping up today, but spoke with him at lunch. So we'll talk about that. And of course, we'll answer all your questions. We'll talk about jury reactions. We'll talk about the Murdaughs in court. Anything y'all want to know. If you have any questions, put capital question, capital Q, red question marks, or super chat. And those are usually the easiest ways I can see it. So yeah, we're going to get through everything. Oh, we're also going to go through my nicknames for the jury. So y'all are going to actually see the nicknames I have. We're not going to go through all of the inside drama and everything until tomorrow when they go into deliberations, because I still have to go into court for a few times. But we will get to some of the nicknames and all of the other things that y'all want to hear. I did hear that the field trip went good. I mean, no, I guess nothing good or bad that happened. Just normal field trip to Moselle. Becca wants to know where I sat today. At the end of the day, for the second half, I was sitting right behind Alex Murdaugh's head, so you'll be able to see me in the stream. I'm sitting right there. Otherwise, I was sitting in that row, just a little bit down, in between, behind the man with white hair and the NBC journalists. They're NBC anchors. Hey, Larry. Hey, DUI guys here. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going to address this real quick. Larry called me a bunch of times when he knew I was in court, so don't know what else to say about that. Called me like 3 times when court was still in session, basically. The jury might have left, but we were all still talking, so apologize for that, but here we are. Sorry, Larry. Braid Triple N, was the jury engaged today? Did their attention fade the longer we went on? We'll get there. We'll get there. Lucy Brown, did you know Court TV was on hot mic during lunch break? I did not know that. Tell me. What was the hot mic situation? I want to hear what Court TV said. Why was that waters on the ground so much? I don't know. We'll get to that. Super chat from LKNICH. Thank you very much. James, I was just a little disappointed in your luck today. Why? What's wrong with my luck? Was my seating? Was there something wrong with my seating, or wow, sorry about that. I did not have my mic plugged in. So this should be much better. Tell me if this audio is better than before. I saw that from Ms. Amanda. But I don't understand this question or this super chat, although I do appreciate the super chat. Tell me why my luck wasn't good. Was it because of the seat in the beginning? Oh, am I disappointed in my look today? Why? Uh-oh, I wore a suit. What was wrong with my looks? Sweet, I'm glad the sound is better. Thanks, y'all. Oh, I looked bored out of my mind? Yeah, I was, but also tell me if I didn't was my hair out of place or something? A question from
case-based. What was the thing that distracted the gallery towards Creighton closing argument? Everyone was turning their heads and looking at something. It could have been y'all, so I'm just gonna be straight up. I like Eric Bland, and he does great work, and I know that he's, he won that money for that kid, and he's Cup of Joe and everything, but he had his phone, and his phone went off, at one point, the ringer, and he dropped it at another point 2 separate times, and we were all looking. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. I don't know, where you'll have to tell me where we were looking in that moment. Alright, another super chat. "It just wasn't my color." Oh, the red tie? The red tie wasn't my color? Sorry about that. Shoot, did I look washed out? Tell me if I look, washed out. Anyway, we're gonna get started with this, PowerPoint. Anyway, I was looking for ties. If anyone thinks that my ties are bad and they want me to have, better ties, feel free to send me something. So, we, have the PowerPoint. We're gonna go ahead here with the nicknames. So, just to go through it real quick, reminder to all, we have 4 jurors who left, so that leaves only 2 alternates. I gotta put it, I know someone sent me the alternate numbers, and I do really appreciate that, and I'm gonna get that together so I know which ones were the alternates in this list. But for now, here's just all of them and the nicknames I have. So we've got, uh, he's out, Rob Stark Jr., who was oh, sorry, hold on, real quick, chat. Heard they canceled, is this a joke? Canceled the dinner tonight? I thought I would warn ya. Who is this? Rose? How do you know that, Rose? Or is that just a joke? Anyway, we've got nicknames here. So, Rob Stark Jr., this guy really does look like Rob Stark from Game of Thrones. Oh, uh, another one I call Glasses. Kadyrov was the Eastern European dictator that I said. A blank face, because makes no expression, it's just a blank face. Queen Latifah, big beard. We've got 3 of them with beards, but this guy's got the biggest beard. Sunglasses, blanket tissue lady, you all know her. Then we've got Thelma, mask lady, because she wore a mask from the very, very beginning. Then we've got Red, who I've nicknamed Red. Then white hair, because she's got really cool white hair. Blondie, and then Ray Romano's dad. So those are the nicknames. Yeah, uh, that's what I've got, because again, and I had to do this. I wouldn't have normally done this, but I only gave them nicknames because they don't sit in the same seats every time. They don't have to sit in the same spots, so they always move around, which is why I've had to give them nicknames based on uh, ways that I can remember this. And honestly, I kind of feel like Michael in The Office when he goes around. You remember, if you like The Office, and he goes around to Utica and the different sales offices, and he does the naming, uh, the devices he uses to remember names is kind of what I feel like. But yeah, and yes, there were several women on the panel, on the juror group, who were Maggie's age, which I think is significant. So, and all right, I'm seeing here another super chat. Thank you for the super chat. You heard the same thing about the event, that it was canceled. How is everyone hearing about this event being canceled? Are y'all just trying to troll me? Or how do you know? How do you know the dinner was canceled? Is it on Twitter? Do I need to check? Is it because I tweeted about it? Did they really cancel it because of me? Uh-oh. I think y'all are joking. Yeah, y'all are trolling me. All right, it's not canceled. I just got the update from the invite. All right, y'all. Y'all had me for a second. Hello, replay crew. The chat had me over for a second. So yeah, I think Larry started this. Y'all killing me now. Oh, great. Now I'm gonna get demonetized for saying the K word. Summer Golden, they're messing with you about dinner, James. Yes. Yes, they are. Thank you, Summer Golden. You got my back. Thank you for that. All right, we're getting on with the PowerPoint. Raj Ranch, I'm sorry. I know you don't know what's going on. There is a press dinner tonight that I was invited to, and I'm not, mainstream media or corporate media, so I thought it was kind of cool. I'm now in with them, and then people are trolling me and saying that it's been canceled. So what's that that's what that is. But we're moving on, y'all. So if you want to save this is the jury breakdown and then with my nicknames. So y'all know when I talk about them because I will talk about them with their nicknames now. So you'll know when I talk about the reactions. All right, moving on. So here's the 27-day breakdown. This is what we're going to talk about. We are going to talk about the Murdaugh family, uh, what happened before court. We're talking about the closing statement, of course, by Creighton Waters. The email situation because I did feel like I got confident news about what that was. I know there were some rumors online, but I think that those are wrong. And from what I heard from very credible people, I think I think it's an interesting story. So nothing came of it. It's not that big of a deal, but it's a little bit spicy. So I think that'll be fun to close out with. And then, of course, any questions that y'all have, I'm going to save them so that I answer them if they're not a part of, the four things I'm going to talk about. Otherwise, I'll get to all the reactions and things like that. Cool. So, starting off, the Murdaugh family, only Buster, Brooklyn Lynn, and John Marvin were in court today. I thought that was kind of interesting because for Buster's testimony and for John Marvin's testimony, a lot of the family and I said this wrong on last night's stream. I called her Marianne. It's not Marianne. It's Marion, right? So for her testimony, for Buster's, and then John Marvin's, a lot more of the family showed up. You had Randy, you had Randy's wife, you had Lynn's children, you had John Marvin's wife, and today that was not the case. I thought that was just interesting. I mean, it's the last day. Well, it's not going to be the last day. Tomorrow is going to be the last day. But for all intents and purposes, today was supposed to be the last day. And the fact that, John Marvin's wife didn't show up, which I've said this before, something about her makes me, I don't know. I'll just share this story again. There was one moment there in the trial where they kept showing a photo of Alex and Maggie and Paul and Buster at a baby shower. And John Marvin's wife, Liza's her name, right? Sorry, I keep forgetting her name. Elizabeth. Liz. I'll call her Liz now. Sorry. Liz would not look at the photo on the screen, would not look at it. And she was always very emotional, like crying during uh Marianne's test Marion's testimony, crying during Buster's testimony, crying during her husband's testimony, crying during some of the 911 calls, crying when the forensic pathologist described the gruesome scene. She would cry a lot, but she did not look at that photo. And I just thought that was interesting. So anyway, you would think for the last day, possibly, that more of the family would show up to support him, but they didn't. They only showed up to support the testimonies. And I think that's interesting. So real quick, thank you, Jonathan, for the super chat. Thank you very much. Hilarious. Wesley Snipes, Queen Latifah, Kadyrov, Rob Stark. I imagine them sitting around a dinner table, and it amuses me too much. Yeah, right. Wouldn't that be a fun dinner party? I think that'd be hilarious. And K-Jab, thank you very much for the super sticker. So yeah, I think that's interesting. But let me know what y'all think about the family, if that makes any difference or whatnot. So then before court, we had the judge bring up both groups of attorneys. Although, actually, now thinking about it, it was really just Creighton Waters. It was the other man who his face is usually red. He's the younger attorney on the state prosecution team. I don't know his name, but he's on that team. He was up there. Then you had Jim Griffin and Harpootlian, and they were all, I don't know, talking around the judge. I don't want to say arguing, but going back and forth. And then at one moment, Creighton Waters was wagging his finger at the judge. So obviously it got, I don't want to say heated, but maybe just a little spicy. No, not on the defense. It's the prosecution I'm talking about. He has, and I don't know if it's a rash or a skin condition, but he has like a red face. Part of his face is red. He's on the state prosecution team. But thank you very much for the super chat, Sarah Sutton. There will be They will all be there for sentencing, no doubt. Yeah, let's see if they're there for the verdict and for sentencing. Let's see if the family shows up. I'd be interested. Thank you very much for the super chat. By the way, all the super chats are going towards my camera fund, which I am probably one more stream away from. I've also, yeah, so I appreciate that. And for those of you who don't understand why I don't have a camera or I am just here with audio, it's because I don't have a camera yet. So I'm working on that. But yes, so Harpootlian was doing that. I don't know what it was about, to be honest. But that's what they were talking about. Also, in the beginning of court, the bailiff came out to the back section where the general audience is and told them that this wasn't, what did he say? It's not a social club. He said you are not allowed to talk if the jury is in the room. So, until the jury leaves, you can't talk. And if you do, you're gonna get kicked out. Because I guess yesterday they were quite loud and things like that. He also reminded everyone no cheering. Because at one point people were cheering and clapping. It was not good. But remember, this courtroom's a little permissive at time. And yeah, I'm gonna get to all your questions. Just gonna go through all the observations first so I can answer your questions. But appreciate them. If you want to put a Q, capital question mark, or a red question mark, I will grab that for the end. We also had a lot more people in court. Of course, Eric Bland was there with a friend of his. We had a lot more media people. Nancy Grace came in and out, if y'all saw. We had some other anchors. Shanley from Court TV, of course, was there. So there definitely was a lot of media presence. A lot of media presence outside the courtroom today as well. I know everyone wanted Alan Wilson to do the closing, and I did talk to him. We'll get to my conversation with Alan Wilson. Oh, I didn't put that on the PowerPoint. Oops. Let's do that right before the email situation. We'll talk about my conversation with Alan Wilson. Amanda, thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate that. Yeah, Vinny was there too. There were a lot of people. I don't know Vinny personally. I've never met him, so I apologize for that, but I don't know him. Now, just in my opinion, well, actually, it's not my opinion, it's my observation. So I'll say that um what's the term? Sorry. The closing argument by Creighton Waters Started off pretty good, okay, and then it got really it got slow in the middle, and I say that because I noticed jurors were getting bored, and I know I saw someone say that Will from Fitz News said they were engaged. They were engaged at parts, for sure, and I would argue that most of the jury was engaged, and the first row tends to be much more engaged. However, when there are at least 1, 2, 3 jurors who I notice being actively bored, that's significant to me because obviously you want all the jurors engaged, so I'm just trying to observe everything I can. This is when, Blanket Lady and Kadriov started to look bored, and when I say look bored, I'm talking about this guy will rub his eyebrows with his fingers, he'll lean back in his chair and look all the way up at the ceiling, he'll lean on his knees and hold his head in his hand, he'll not even look at Creighton Waters when he's talking, just look at the wall, things like that. So that's why I say I think he's bored. I also noticed Blanket Lady, Blanket and Tissue Lady, she will just, I mean, zone out. She'll stare out into the audience and not really pay attention, things like that. So that's why I say I know they're bored. Also, there's a mask lady who sits in the front, and she was almost asleep at parts during this. I will say that they did pick up towards the end. After lunch, it was a little bit of a lull, but then when Creighton started getting more, into the emotional components of it, it started to pick up. The 911 call was pretty, I think, effective. I think that people were a little more engaged in that moment. I also think that, let's see, what was the moment that, oh, it was talking about him creating the alibi and his involvement with law enforcement. Those were some hard-hitting moments for the jurors. I noticed the juror that I've nicknamed Queen Latifah actually nodded in agreement when, and I tweeted this, when Creighton said that, when he asked the jurors, was that an aggressive interview about Alex Murdaugh? So that was in the car. He was showing the video of the police asking Alec questions. And the point is this someone who's scared of the police? I mean, look at him. They're treating him with kid gloves. And she nodded in agreement with that, as to say, like, you're right, it's not aggressive. So I thought that was pretty significant. And that's juror Queen Latifah. And real quick, I'm going to get to a couple questions at this moment. Magda Ballin wants to know which jurors are the alternates. I'm going to get that for y'all. I don't know. I do know that Blanket and Tissue Lady is an alternate. I don't know who the other two are. I think it's two more. And we are on number 3. Uh, Creed.m asks. And I did put up that super chat from from Gail. Thank you very much. Camera coming soon so we can have proper conversations, because that will be fun. But I'll also save questions as they come. And I should let me see if I can put a poll in the chat with StreamYard. I don't know if I know how to do that actually, so I might just not bother with it. Let's see if I can do that. Y'all, you know what? I don't even know. But let's do a poll maybe tomorrow, because we haven't finished yet, actually. So tomorrow I'm going to do a poll during my stream, and I'll do a poll on Twitter because I want to know what you all think about guilty or not guilty. And Elena, yeah, we're going to get to the email that's on number 4. We'll get to the email real quick. So those are the jury observations for the most part during closing argument. I'll get to a few of them more. The juror I've named Big Beard, he had his arms crossed at times, but then he'd also stroke his beard as if he was thinking. We have Rob Stark Jr., who is a young guy. He looks exactly like Rob Stark, like a young version of him. He's always very engaged. Now, he dresses up every single day. He dresses up in very nicely. But he was very engaged. A lot of them were chewing today. We had some gum chewers. We had a lot of jurors that had their body positioned towards her, like Red. The juror I've named Blondie also smiled at times, which I thought was good. I would get to the judge's reaction, but we'll get to that after I talk about the PowerPoint. Just saving some of these real quick. Sorry, I don't mean to be silent. I'm saving some of the questions and chats from y'all. But I did notice, I have to be honest with y'all, they were getting bored in the middle. Definitely. There was a moment at 12:21, John Marvin was smiling. I don't know why, but I thought that was kind of weird. Also, at around 3 in the afternoon, when the state prosecutor, Creighton Waters, was talking about how Alec had basically committed the crime and how Maggie was running, to Paul and all of that, Lynn was shaking her head no. So I don't know, whatever you think of that. Real quick, I'm just looking at the chat, saving this, because I'm doing myself. Okay, let's move on. As I said, Blanket and Tissue Lady is pretty much just tapped out at this point. Oh, Blank Face. Blank Face did not make... Lynn was shaking her head. Lynn is Alec's sister, and she was shaking her head. Blank Face was not doing anything interesting. Blank Face had a blank face, which is true to his name. I know the past week he's been a lot more expressive. Not really in a good way, kind of in a scowling way, but today he didn't really make any expressions. Now, Ray Romano's dad did cross his arms at point, and so did Kadrioff, but I don't know what crossing your arms mean. That doesn't mean anything. It can mean you're cold. It's quite cold in the courtroom. So, that's just observations. I don't know what that means, but I always want to share with you all. Yikes. Sorry about that. Let's get this PowerPoint back up. Yeah, so I just want to share with you all the observations I have. Try to do that unbiasedly. No one was crying today. No one was crying in court. But let's get to my observations, because today the judge was making a lot of facial expressions. So y'all look through if you can of the stream, but he was angry today and scowling at points and furrowing his eyebrows. I don't know if he was mad at how long it was going. I don't think he understood at times Creighton Waters' direction. And I will be honest with y'all. I mean, I talked to the people in the gallery at lunch and things like that, and people were not completely happy with Creighton Waters at lunch. After lunch, people were more pleased. At the end of the day, people said they felt like he finished strong. But at lunch, there were people, and these are people who follow the trial a lot, who felt like he was getting lost in some of the details. He wasn't setting up the best narrative. He was using words and just keep it to more concise words, shorter words that people can understand. So I'm just saying what I talked to, who I talked to and what they had to say. But that was, in the beginning. And my point really is that part of the weirdness of it was the PowerPoint. And I don't know what you all thought about that, but us in the media sitting there, I mean, we kind of chuckled at it because some of the pictures were taken straight up from clip art. I mean, you had that picture of the guy running in the hamster wheel, then you had the scary, gloomy clouds, then you had the handshakes. I mean, it really was like middle school level, and I just felt a little embarrassed for them that they did that. I felt like the PowerPoints could have been slightly more professional. I just don't think clip art for closing arguments in a double homicide is the best thing. I don't know. Listen, clip art, that would have gotten me a B in my high school. I wouldn't have gotten above a B plus for that PowerPoint. So just saying it like it is, y'all. Don't hate me for it. But yeah, it could have been emojis. Actually, that would have been hilarious if they were emojis instead. Can you imagine? The storm is like an emoji with a cloud over raining. But also the weird title names for the PowerPoint slides as well. I felt like I was in a three-part movie, like The Hunger Games. We had the storm is coming, then the storm is here, then the calm before the storm, then this, it was a lot. Yeah, and then there was we were trying to figure out in one of the slides what it was. I thought it was an umbrella, but I guess it was a knife, but it also kind of looked like, well, I won't say what it looked like. Anyway, it was weird. Just weird. And I talked to Alan Wilson about that, not about that, but we talked about some things at lunch, and I'll tell you all that after the email situation, because I want to hold y'all for a little bit. We're going to talk about the rest of Judge Newman's faces, and then the email situation, which I think is really cool. And then I'll talk about my conversation with Alan Wilson, and then we will answer all of the questions. Super chats first, and then general questions. So, again, look at the stream. Judge Newman's faces were very funny. I definitely think he was over it. Also, when Creighton Waters was talking about how much longer there was, and Harpootlian was the one that basically, and not objected, but said to the judge, listen, he said it was going to be 2 hours. It's been way more than that. And the judge had said, yeah, I've been wondering about this too, because the judge said, well, what do you want me to do? And Creighton was basically saying, well, I'm just saying, we're wondering. And the judge said, well, yeah, I'm wondering too. So then, then Creighton Waters said, oh, well, I have, about, more than 30 minutes or whatever. And the judge goes, I thought I heard 4 to 5 minutes. And us who are listening laughed. And then Creighton Waters was like, oh, well, you know, 30 minutes or so. So the judge said, how long? And he said, less than 30 minutes. So it ended up being, I think, about 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more, but leave it to Creighton to be lengthy, right? A little more lengthy than I think the jury wanted, though. We'll see how defense goes tomorrow. If they end up taking a very long time tomorrow, they're going to lose the jury as well. But, I trust y'all will always let me know about that, what you guys think about what the jury, not the jury, the closing argument, how effective it was. So, yeah, let's get to the email situation. No, it's not Queen Latina, it's Queen Latifah, but the juror nicknames. But yeah, so let's get to the email situation because I had heard several competing rumors, and I know y'all had heard some rumors online as well. But basically, what I had heard was kind of spicy, and that was that one of the jurors, um, I'm not gonna, I won't say any gender. I'll be gender neutral because so one of the jurors' spouse got inebriated and took a video and posted on social media and was talking about how their spouse was one of the jurors. Now, they didn't say anything, so this email, I guess someone had sent an email to the judge about it, maybe one of the friends of the person, and basically that's what the judge had. He had that email and he brought prosecution and defense to look at it. I'm guessing that neither cared because that didn't end up being an issue. I think it probably was just a video that, maybe slightly mentioned it. Apparently, the video was taken down very, very quickly. It probably was just a very small portion that was mentioned in maybe a longer video, maybe a video at a party or something, or, at a gathering. I don't know. But yeah, so that's basically what happened. The juror had their spouse posted about it online. So it's kind of a circus, this whole trial. It was serious enough for the judge to say something. And I think there was evidence of it as well that was sent. Now, they've not made this public, and I'm not even gonna say anything about who said this to me. But yeah. And I think we'll get to all of the issues of why this court case has turned into the way it is. I mean, it really is. When I talk about the good old boys club, I didn't realize it was an institutional event. I really thought it was more of a description of, societal norms among the political and elite class. And I had no idea it was so institutional part of South Carolina, but we will get there. We'll talk about all of that because y'all, the media's friends with the lawyers are friends with each other. People are shaking hands and hugging and things that you would have no idea about. So, and I don't want to talk about that yet because again, there's one more day of court, and I don't want to get kicked out of the media friend group that I'm kind of in now. But it's crazy how it's all intertwined. And we're gonna get to some of these super chats right now, and then I'll continue talking. So, Jill Downey, thank you very much. James, what was the angry words exchange between two jurors today? Well, the angry words exchanged between two jurors. Jill, do you mean that they were angry with each other? I don't know. Also, I wouldn't know because obviously I'm not allowed to speak to the jurors at all. I will say it's weird. They bring one juror. So I'll say this, y'all. There's one juror who they bring out of the group of jurors through the courtroom and out the other side where the public comes out. Now, I think it's because one of the elevators are broken, but they walk this juror right by Alex's whole family. And John Marvin's smiling at this juror as she walks by. It's just weird, you know? I don't know. LK Niche, my daughter is a major crimes unit prosecutor. She said she could have done so much better. Yeah, I don't doubt that. Uh, your daughter or Camille Vasquez, actually, she said is his age and his experience, he was horrible. Yeah, that's fair. That's definitely, fair. I think a lot of people have different opinions on how Creighton Waters did, and I'm open to hearing all of them. Kathy, thank you very much. There's someone that can be heard coughing loud and frequently. It's concerning and distracting. Do you know if it's someone on the jury? No, the coughing, loud coughing's not always on the jury. Remember, there's probably about 150 plus people in that courtroom. So if you can imagine, I know it doesn't seem like there'd be people coughing all the time, but if you have 10 people with a slight cough, you're going to hear it quite often. And I can give you an anecdote. People walk in and out all the time. I kind of feel for the bailiff because every 30 seconds it feels like he's opening the door to let people in and out. So you don't really expect, oh, it's just a group of 150 people. You don't really expect that, there'd be so much movement and noise and stuff. You'd think that all these people could sit still and not cough and go to the bathroom and leave and have to get on their phone. Or like today, this one person behind me, they must have had 30 like taffies or something because every 5 minutes I'm hearing the crackling of their wrapper as they're opening up the candy. So it's a circus, Kathy. I'm telling you, it's a circus. Uh, Kamala, I got it right. Yes. You looked great in court today. Every girl crazy about a sharp dressed man. Kamala, yes. Buy your camera. Heck yeah, I'm gonna get that camera. I think by the weekend, maybe. Y'all are being very generous tonight. Kimberly, thank you for the camera donation. Michelle as well. You're welcome for the recap. Wandering Wanda, thank you for the super chat. Amazing. Assuming defense is finished by noon tomorrow, what time will your stream be? Let's maybe do it again in the afternoon. Or do y'all want in the evening? Let's see what y'all decide. What do you guys think? Y'all's wish is my command. Wendy S. Want to say thanks for being at the trial. Been watching you since the Amber and Depp trial. Well, thank you. Yeah, that was a circus too, but this one's circus in a different way, isn't it? Very different circus. Super chat from Leah, thank you. Paying money to make this point. It is not okay to nickname a black woman Queen Latifah. Please reconsider how generalizing your nicknames are. I get your point, Leah. If it were just because of her skin color. That has nothing to do with why I nicknamed her Queen Latifah. She, to me, actually does. I don't think saying Rob Stark, is Rob Stark. It's not a generalization because she happens to be someone of that skin color. The other nicknames, I have people of skin color of other nicknames who their nicknames are something like Mask or the Blanket and Tissue Lady. These are also black women. The only reason I named her Queen Latifah is because to me, she actually does resemble Queen Latifah. And I hope she would take that as a compliment. Queen Latifah is a beautiful woman. So please try to remember I am a respectful person. So let's not inject this kind of stuff into my streams. More questions? Yes, I did name the dictator. Question from Bob. Any update on the additional charges last week? No, haven't heard anything about that, unfortunately. Nancy D. Question. Do you think Alec will do the closing? Right? He's an attorney, but no. Elena, I answered the email. Sorry, I should have deleted that. Question from Karen. Who was yelling or animated at most up front with the judge? I wouldn't say he was yelling at the judge, but yeah, Harpootlian was definitely the most animated for sure. For sure. Just looking for more questions. Sorry. I have them saved, but I don't wanna miss some too, you know? So I see this about the jurors who had words. I have to see about this update. I did not see any jurors have words with each other, but I will look. Let me see, did any of them seem rather I mean, a lot of them did have frowns, but a lot of them have frowns anyway, you know? I don't know if that's just all of them kinda have RBFs. The only reason I named one of them specifically Mean Mug or RBF, and then I switched it to Blanket and Tissue Lady because I thought that was a little bit nicer, is because she really does mean mug people. Like, if you're out in the audience and you catch eyes with her, she will stare you down and make a really like, it's intimidating. So that's why I I say that, but Carla Irish, do you think Alex had time after the murders to clean himself, shower, and change clothes? I think it's possible. Yeah, I think it's possible. I don't know if he did. I don't know if the evidence is there for that. What do you all think about that? But I think it's a possibility. I do want to find out what the hot mic with Court TV was about too. Carlene, Andrea, thank you very much for the super sticker. And Melissa, Cam Fund, it's so much nicer to see you and your reaction. Curious to know about the judge's email. We don't get the scoop when watching at home. Melissa, thank you for the super chat. Yes, it is nice to be able to have one-on-one reactions with y'all where you can see me. And the judge's email. So I'll say that again real quick. You might be a little bit behind, or maybe told the story too quickly, but the email was because a juror's spouse got inebriated, I'll say, and posted on social media a video of them talking about their spouse being on the jury. And someone had sent that to the judge. It got taken down. The video was taken down from what I told, I mean, almost instantly, I guess within an hour or so, probably they realized it wasn't a good thing. But yeah, but still enough. All right, I'm missing another super chat, but I'm gonna try to grab it. Is it down or is it up? It's down. Laura Lynn Lulu, this is for your camera fund. Thank you, Laura Lynn. I've enjoyed listening to you since Depth versus Herd. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Well, I wish that I had been a little bit better about doing content during Depth v Herd, but you know, never too late, right? Wandering Wanda, thank you for the super chat. Do you know who the foreperson is? I don't, and I should because they did name the juror number, but I don't know, and I can ask around. I asked last week and people didn't know as far as the media pool, but I'll be at the party tonight for media people. So I will see, and maybe that's something we can all talk about tomorrow, and I can tell you which nickname. Dawn, thank you very much for the super chat. Did you hear any rumblings about the AG doing final close? Keep doing you, James. You are awesome. Thank you. I did. Oh, well, I forgot to do my AG conversation. Of course, I forgot because I always forget to talk about things. So sorry. Let me get through a couple of these super chats, and then I'll tell the story about my conversation with the Attorney General. A glow tea, thank you. Thank you very much. You're awesome. Or you're the best. Y'all are the best. Wendy, thank you. How much more funds do you need to buy your camera? It's okay if you don't want to disclose that. I would just like to challenge a chat to send a super chat. Well, I appreciate that. I think I'm almost there. It's a camera, and I need the camera and the lens. So I looked up Emily D. Baker's camera on her thing, and there's a variation of it. I need probably about I think I have enough for the camera. I probably need about 3 to 500 more for the lens. That's why I said we'll like maybe 2 or 3 more streams, but that might not be necessary. So y'all, I appreciate the help, but y'all don't have to. Y'all can loop these videos or just like and subscribe. That also helps. Angie, thank you very much. Love your genuine personality and great feedback. Don't ever change. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And Jonathan, thank you. Love the nicknames. Don't know. Well, okay. Well, whatever. We'll move on. We'll move on from that. Everyone, I understand people have an opinion. I understand people don't know me as well. And that's totally fine. If you don't know me, you don't know that I really am like someone who cares deeply about everyone. And I don't make generalizations. And I would never, I try to be very, just respectful. So, you know, I understand if that person didn't really know me as well and didn't know that that's how I operate, and that's totally fine, but we'll move on. Kim D, let's be honest, if Sled would not have been as so horrible, we would know more. I'm so offended by the incompetence the prosecution deserves to lose. Yeah, I mean, you're totally welcome to that opinion. I will talk about Sled in a stream this week because we have a lot to talk about with them. We have a lot to talk about with their reputation in South Carolina. We have a lot to talk about their involvement with the Murdaugh family. We have a lot to talk about the Good Old Boys Club. So, and I don't want to diss Sled because the people that I've met at court who are in court are very nice and they're very nice to me. But there are problems and I have questions. So there are problems and I do have questions. Ashley, thank you very much. Get a camera. All right, heck yeah, I will. Your wish is my command. Out cool. Camera fun. Thank you, thank you. Wait, who is this here? This is Ari. Hey, what's up? I recommend the Sony ZV-10, CVE-10 if you want something that I've seen a lot of creators use and a great price. Keep crushing. Well, thank you very, very much. I'm so glad you're here in the chat. That's really cool to have you. Um, if y'all don't know, Ari she's a big person on TikTok and Twitter. She had some issues, I'll say, with Taylor Lorenz, and you can follow her to learn more about that. Taylor Lorenz is the Washington Post reporter who got all involved in the Johnny Depp trial when she decided to dox that umbrella guy and our friend Alita from Legal Bites. And I believe, did she come after anyone else? I think it was just those two. And then from there, Christopher Boozy came after that umbrella guy. And then Ian came for, debunked him. And then he came for Ian and Nate, the lawyer. So it was a whole mess. Anyway, I support Ari and I appreciate that advice. I'm going to check out that camera. Heck yeah. Terry, thank you for the super chat. James, thank you for all your work. Pretty Piper, thank you for the super sticker. Brenda Strickland for your lens. I enjoy your channel. Thank you. Thank you. Shoot, y'all are really cool. I feel bad because I promise I will get to my conversation with Alan Wilson. Let me just get to a couple more of these first. Dawn, great idea, Wendy. Camera fun. Heck yeah, Wendy. Good idea. Granny G, thanks for what you're doing for your lens. Oh, thank you, Granny. Thank you, thank you. Wandering Wanda, it's good to see you again. Please post a slide with the juror nicknames again for the latecomers. Fantastic idea. Here. So do that while I talk about Alan Wilson. Yeah, question. Finish the AG story. I'm about to. 1 second, y'all. Wendy, here's some more for your camera fun. Thank you, thank you. Okay, let's talk about the AG story real quick because I think I lost like 400 viewers in that time of answering the chats, but that's fine. I want to answer you all because I really support you supporting me. So I appreciate that. And Alan Wilson is the Attorney General. So he's right now basically directing the team, the prosecution, Creighton Waters and all of them. He chose Creighton Waters. So Alan Wilson said he chose Creighton for this case. He chose the entire team, put it together, helped them build the case, everything like that. He's been guiding them. Now, the first few days he was not there, and then he came and he became a much more central part, constantly offering advice, constantly standing up to look at evidence, very much involved. So then, now what was it? Sorry, yesterday was part of the rebuttal. And that's the first time we've ever seen him. And people seem to really like him. I thought he did a good job compared to some of the other testimony examinations I've seen. I thought he did a good job. People online also thought he did a very good job. I saw people in the stream talking about it. I saw people in chat, on Emily's chat. I saw people on Twitter talking about him. Also, people in person talked about him. So I know there was a lot of love for the way that he conducted the testimonies. The problem is I spoke to him and, asked him basically, how come you're not giving closing arguments? How come you're not more involved? And he said that there is a lot of, well, there's just mixed opinions about him in general, online and in general. And because he is an elected political figure who he said, you know, there are people that don't like him and like him. He just was basically saying he didn't want his involvement to politicize the case, and he didn't want any of the jurors, let's say if the jurors didn't like him, they didn't want that to reflect on the prosecution's case. So that's what he said about that. Now, I don't know anything about his politics, to be honest. I'm not from the state. He was very nice to me, sitting and talking to him at lunch. He seems like a nice guy. I met other people that know him as well. But again, I don't know anything about him more, but he seemed like he cared about doing a good job in this case. He definitely seemed flustered at points in the trial, and he definitely seemed very involved. I mean, he was there early in the morning discussing with them. He stays all the way until the end, after when even all the media people leave, he's there doing stuff. So he's extremely involved, but I thought it was interesting that he didn't want to be completely involved because of the political involvement. And I thought that that's kind of, if anything, it says that he doesn't have a huge ego because someone like that might not even care, but they just might want to be the center of the attention and, be on the camera and have it be, their case. But he also said he's trying, I mean, he's got, I think, overseeing 800 other cases, but yeah. But let me know what y'all think about that, what y'all think about Alan Wilson. What else did he say? I didn't wanna ask him too much. Listen, it was lunch break. We were actually sitting at a picnic table eating lunch, and I really didn't want it to be like, "Hey, by the way, I know you're trying to enjoy your 15 minutes. Why don't you try to be on the spot during interviews?" So I really just asked him very general questions, and if he wanted to talk, then I would continue with another question or just, let him talk or whatever, but I didn't wanna push him too much about certain things, but yeah, so I thought it was interesting that he said that. Gonna get some of these super chats and then answer more questions. Uh, Aaron Morgan, thank you all for your work. MM trial next, probably. Nate the lawyer will be testifying, so that'll be in Florida. Sarah Powers, thank you for the super chat. Do you still think hung jury, or do you think the jury is leaning towards guilty, not guilty after today? I want to say I want to give you all a good answer, but I do think hung jury. I just think that there too many of jurors that I see have very different emotions, and I think it's going to be divided. Now, I talked to some other people who do think they're going to find him guilty, some other press people, but I don't know. It's that's hard for me to say. Just like I see the division online. I mean, this is not like the Johnny Depp trial where by the end of it, it was, I mean, 98% of us felt like Amber was lying and more so than just lying, was guilty of defamation and things like that. Yes, you had the Amber stans who didn't agree, but for the most part, everyone pretty much agreed. This is much more different. I see a lot of you online are very polarized. So I think the jury might feel that way too. You know, I see a lot of you that want to find him guilty 100%, and I understand. And I see a lot of you that don't think the evidence is there, and you don't think that he can be found guilty, and I understand. I understand where all of you are coming from, and the jury might have that same inclination. So I think we might get a hung jury. Um, Mama Sue's for the fund. Thank you. Wendy, here's some more for your camera. Keep doing what you're doing, James. You're going to big places. Much love to you. Thank you. Shoot. Well, I don't know what big places are. Big places to me would just be keep doing these streams, giving you all good information. You know, maybe, talk, I'd love to. I know Emily doesn't have a lot of people on, but talk to Emily, talk to other, Law 2 people more and just keep giving you all the information you want. But I would like to, I mean, maybe I don't want to be a corporate media person, but that could be fun to give the truth on corporate media. Or honestly, I'm going to tell you all this. I know some of you don't care. Some of you just want stuff about the trial, but real quick, I would love to be on Breaking Points with Crystal and Sagar. That would be like my dream to be a reporter for them or maybe a court correspondent. But anyway, question from Shauna. How long do you think the defense will take tomorrow? Keep up the great coverage. Thank you. Defense probably will take until lunch. So that's what I expect. I don't think they want to take longer because the more that the jury gets tapped out, the worse. They're going to have the jury at a fresh start tomorrow. So I think that they should use that. Thank you, Captain Clint. Captain Clint C? Captain Captain Clint C, thank you. Thank you for the super chat and your messages. Thanks for the work as the state diluted their case with too much random info. Hogs, for example, going back and forth with the fam about the case. Yeah, I mean, that is definitely an opinion that I understand having. I think they did get a little too technical. They got a little too focused on other things. So, yeah, it's a little hard. Real quick, I'm going to have a sip of water. Y'all, I would suggest take this moment to have a sip of water as well. We need it after the long day of court. Okay, cool. Oh, cool. Chell, see that? Just subbed. Thank you very much for subscribing. Appreciate that. Question from YT3. AG did great job yesterday questioning an easy witness. How would the AG have done with a difficult witness like Alex? Yeah, no, that's a valid question. That witness was an easy witness. He could have, he might, I don't know. I understand what you're saying. 100%. Question from Deidre. James, were you surprised that Jim is closing instead of Poot, or do you think that they decided that from the beginning? I think Jim is the better option. I think they probably did. I think what Creighton started a right, and I think they knew that Jim would take it at the end. I can ask though. I can ask tonight. Seeing some questions. Sorry. Oh gosh, this chat is going fast. Maybe not that fast. It's probably not as fast. Trust me, I know it's not as fast as like real streamers and stuff like that. But for me, with StreamYard on a MacBook with my scrolling my mouse pad, not even mouse pad, the touch thing, it's going a little quick. My dog does tricks. My first ever YouTube super chat goes to you for the camera. I am very honored. I'm going to save this. Your first ever super chat. Really. I appreciate that. Thank you. Heck yeah. Appreciate that very much. Lucky Sarita, I thought Waters did not did not great, not bad, but at points he flat out lied, which angered me. Fair. Fair. And thank you for the super chat. Yeah, you make a good point. Teacher Terry, thank you. Did you watch the Moselle visits visits video today? I was a bit surprised they did not help me visualize so much better. No, I haven't watched them yet. I gotta watch them. I didn't have a chance, y'all. I literally just got out of court and I drove and then I started streaming. I started making the PowerPoint and then I started streaming. I have not done anything. I did get the email story after court. I got that. And I was asking people. A question from Grumpy Cat. You mentioned earlier was Waters wagging his finger at the judge, but the PowerPoint says Poot. Who was it? Did I say Waters? I didn't mean Waters. I meant Harpootlian. Maybe I meant Waters did something else. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where Waters lied, but if someone wants to elaborate on that, maybe the person that sent the original super chat. But well, let's see what else. Let's see if y'all have any other. I think I answered these. Answered this. Answered this. Answered this. I'm just going to look real quick. Give me 1 second, y'all. I do apologize to the mods. I know I was supposed to do slow mode. So let's see. Oh well, question. Please, when do you expect a verdict? How long? That is really hard. I would hope by the end of the week, but that's probably not going to happen. I'm going to guess by midweek next week. Well, maybe because I feel like the jury does not want to take any more time, but it's already Wednesday and they're not going to get done at least until lunch tomorrow. So that really gives them 1.5 days, maybe. I mean, I guess they can stay as long as they want, but they probably won't stay past till, past 5:30. That's a hard question to answer. Question from Dana, or I'm just going to say Dana, and if I'm wrong, correct me. I'd like to know where it was fair to say Creighton lied. Camera ahoy. Yeah, if anyone wants to clarify, if you want to clarify the original super chat or where Creighton lied, I don't know that personally, but 1 second, sorry. Question from Wandering Wanda. In my honest opinion, blood is extremely hard to clean. I do not think he could have cleaned it himself with a water hose in the limited time the prosecution is allotting. That's fair. Unless the time frame is a little messed up, or maybe there was another person involved. But that's definitely a fair point to make. Lynn Dalton. All successful YouTubers had to start somewhere. You've got what it takes. Keep going. I wish I could send more. Well, Lynn, this is very kind. $5. I mean, it adds up and it's your money. So I appreciate that. Your hard earned money. And thank you for the kind words. It is true. Everyone has to start somewhere. And what a fun time to start, or a fun place to start, right? At court trials, the Johnny Depp trial, and then this trial. This trial isn't fun. I won't say that. It's interesting. But yeah. Teresa, thank you very much for that camera fund. Y'all, I might get there in one stream if y'all keep going like this, for real. It might be one more, two more, one more, maybe. Lucy Bowers. Oh, no blood is the reason closed shoes are missing. Correct. I did have a question though. Debbie, Debbie, North Carolina. Will the jury work the weekend if needed? I don't believe so, but if y'all want to catch me on that, definitely tell me. But I'm pretty sure the jury does not work on the weekends. They did not do it during the Johnny Depp trial. Carrie M. Thoughts on Waters using body language to convict? Oof. Yeah. Yeah. Iffy. That's what I'll say. How do you feel about that? How do y'all feel about that? Robin, hey James, please say hi to my mom, Jana, who I got to watching you too. Thanks for your hard work. Heck yeah. Well, thank you, Robin, and thank you to your mom, Jana. I think you're from Canada, so hello, all the way from down south in the United States. I appreciate you all. Hey, Ricada brought you here? Unbread on YouTube. Did Nick Ricada shout me out? The Pope himself? The Pope of LawTube? That's what's up. Appreciate that. Witness. Thank you very much for the generous super chat. I like your style, James from Court. Keep doing a great job. Thank you. I do got to get some more ties, y'all, because I've been wearing like the same 5 ones. So next trial, you'll see me with a few different ones. Loretta, thanks Jesus. Thank you very much for the super chat. Latecomer here. Have you polled the chat to see how many think hung jury guilty or not guilty? No, I'm gonna figure out how to do that, and I'm gonna do that tomorrow's stream because that's when it's over. So y'all can make the decision after the defense closing arguments, and then you'll deliberate just like a jury would. Known terrestrial, thank you for the super chat. James, love your work. You bring truly unique info and input. You are the future of journalism. Hey, that's what's up. I appreciate that. I think just independence, honesty, and just integrity are the future of journalism, especially the new medium of the internet. So I appreciate that I can be part of that. And yeah, that's my goal. Debbie loves yarn, half for the camera and half to start my law school fund. Yeah, actually, I kind of do want to go to law school. I have to study, and actually, Alita, someone in her chat helped me, offered basically I could take a couple classes to see about taking the LSAT, so that would be cool to attempt to do that. Snazzy Trinkets Jewelry, thank you. Fitz News Twitter said judge replied jury can deliberate through the weekend. Okay, so they're allowed to. I don't think they will, but would you? I don't think so. Magda Ballin, thank you again for the super chat. I really appreciate how modest you are, but just to be clear, you are a real streamer. Go get that camera lens and whatever else needed. Hey, all right. Well, if you say it, y'all say it from your lips to God's ears. I am a real streamer. Heck yeah. Am I officially LawTube now? Oh, am I? That's so scary. That's so much pressure, y'all. I'm just a law nerd. Law Nerd, South Carolina. Good luck. James been watching since Debt. Heck yeah, appreciate that. Nancy Baird. Holy shoot. Thank you for the super chat. Super sticker. I can't see what that super sticker is, but I see that it's extremely generous. Oh my gosh. Jeez Louise. All right. Ela X, James, please remember that there are differences between civil and criminal trial procedure as well as location and specific court-related differences. Yes, that's what I try to make note of. So I know that there's differences between the locations, everything like that. That's why I say I don't know for sure. In the Johnny Depp trial, it was one way. I think we do know now that there are, they're going to be doing it during the weekend. But yeah. Question from JSD is, what did you think about Creighton using Alex's testimony, Alex answers from his testimony to play along video, but to me that's out of context and Alice was on stand last week. Yeah, but I mean that's the closing argument's job. They can take things out of context. It's yeah. Nancy Joe M. Get that camera. James from Court. Shoot, thank you. Get another generous super chat, y'all. Heck yeah. Y'all, I might go get that camera tomorrow. Well, it takes a few days for YouTube to, do the whole thing and pay out and everything. But I might get that this weekend. You might see me on Monday with a whole setup for y'all, an actual camera. That would be awesome. Kayla, camera fund. Thanks for all you do. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. All right. Y'all are very nice. Y'all are getting me actually like flustered. My voice, you can tell my voice is getting higher. I'm talking more, a little higher because I'm actually getting flustered at how awesome y'all are tonight. So Let me take it back down for a second, slow it down for answer some questions. Am I going to concert? Yeah, actually, I gotta go, y'all. It's kind of started. It started like 15, 18 minutes ago. Should I go? I feel bad leaving y'all like this. Y'all are being very kind, very generous, very supportive. I appreciate all the questions. I appreciate the super chats and everything, but I kind of do want to go to that media party. And maybe I'll do a stream again tomorrow for y'all, and we can keep going with all the questions and everything like that. Um, Okay, I'm seeing people say go, "Y'all are nice." Okay, I do need to be there. I did I read all the super chats? Yeah, I did. Actually, no, Snazzy Trinkets Jewelry sent another one. Hope to see you for with your camera for the jury. Otherwise, I did. I'm pretty sure I read them when they came in. Yes, unless there's any new ones. I just want to make sure. Not that I'm just trying to get them all because I want to get all your chats and everything. Oh, no, we have Melissa. Melissa Marquez, go and report back. Concert fun. Okay. Okay. Y'all are awesome. All right. Well, even though there's a lot of you in here, well, a lot. I know you know, Emily D. Baker has tons and tons. To me, this is a lot, and I feel bad letting y'all go, but I am going to go. I'm going to get the tea for y'all. I'm going to talk to all the media people. I'm going to have some good barbecue. And oh, yeah, and Becky Hill's daughter is going to be singing. The Cirque of Court daughter is going to be singing. So that'll be really cool. And maybe I'll get some videos and pictures with all the media people. I appreciate that. If y'all want, shoot a like, a subscribe. See me here tomorrow, maybe in the afternoon, if not evening. I'm going to keep this up for just 2 minutes to let y'all do all the chatty things, say goodbye to each other, things like that, and while I close up and start driving. So thank you for being here. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you tomorrow for the last day, day 28 of the Alex Murdaugh trial. All right, y'all. Peace out. Later.